All right. Well, welcome, Kiwanis members of the Carolinas District. We are excited to be with you this evening. We have our webinar tonight, and it is hosted by CKI. And so we are going to go ahead and get started. So welcome, Tyler.
Hello, hello, and welcome to everyone tuning in. So happy to have you all. So yeah, we're gonna roll right in.
All right. Sounds good. Let's do it. All right. Well, welcome to our Circle K International. We're the Collegiate Level of Kiwanis. So I'm Jennifer Hethcox.
And I'm Tyler Rosado.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to actually introduce Tyler to you all tonight. So Tyler is a junior at NC State, North Carolina State University here in the Carolinas District. He is a Key Club alumni, which I'm super excited about. And he is the immediate past president of NC State Circle K, and he is the past freshman ambassador, which is a program that actually started here in the Carolinas. And he is currently serving as our district governor. Some fun facts about Tyler is that he is a published poet and a future teacher, which I am super excited because we have lots to talk about all the time about education. And another fun fact that he did not put on here, which I am super proud of, is that he has a regular podcast about Circle K. So hopefully he'll dive into that a little bit later. But if you do not already listen to Tyler's podcast, I highly recommend you checking it out. It's on Spotify and it's called the Diva Checklist, and it is phenomenal. It is one of my favorite things to listen to on Fridays when I am driving home. So, but that is Tyler.
Well, thank you, Ms. Shen. And to give you a introduction into District Administrator Jennifer Hethcox, she is a professional digital learning coach for Lexington School District 1. She's also a Key Club alumni, CKI alumni, and past CKI District Governor of the Georgia District, past Kiwanis Club President, and the education chair as well. So many hats, many roles, a lot of experience, which we are always grateful for in the Carolinas district of CKI. Married to John Hethcox, which if that sounds familiar, that is the current Kiwanis governor. And two daughters, Caroline and Lillian, both Key Clubbers, and Caroline serving as Key Club president. So a true K family, I always joke. And speaking of the Diva Checkpoint podcast, the final episode of season 1 comes out at the time of recording tomorrow, and Miss Shen is the final guest for the season, so you should definitely tune in.
I'm
Not
excited.
only not only for the other 7 episodes that are all great, but definitely I saved the best for last. Me and Miss Shen
Aw.
really break it down on that last episode, so it is tons and tons of fun.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. All right. Well, so tonight we're going to be covering just some basics of Circle K International. We're going to talk a little bit about where we have clubs here in the Carolinas district and where we're kind of currently targeting some new charters and reactivations. And then for you all as Kiwanians, you can learn steps about how your Kiwanis club can take can what they can do to charter tonight or reactivate a Circle Club near you. And then finally, once you have that charter and you want to interact with your CKI club, how you can do that and support them, and how the two clubs can really work together. So those are the four things that we're going to be talking about this evening.
All right, so a little bird's eye view of Circle K International as a whole. We've got 33 districts across a multitude, 85 different countries, currently ranking in with about 6,200 plus members, with many more to come as we're very early into the year. We just recently celebrated our 78th birthday. And of course, we have a international board, district board, and club board structure, just as the Kiwanis branch as well. So we are an international organization through and through. And coming in a little closer to Carolina CKI specifically, we have about 230 plus members with 11 clubs, which we'll get into all of our different clubs and our latest new chapter soon. And our goals for this year are to hit that 260 member mark, have 12 clubs, so just one club away, 5,500 hours of service across all of our members and clubs, and 90 interclub and K family events throughout the year, as well as 5,000 in fundraising for UNICEF Brick by Brick. And so, to give a little CKI overview of our three main tenets, we are mainly focused on service, fellowship, and leadership. So, service includes our hands on service projects within club meetings, fundraisers to support the Boys and Girls Homes of NC and UNICEF's Brick by Brick project, as well as other community service projects in the area. Also, tapping into our fellowship, networking between students in our clubs, as well as fostering compassion and goodwill toward others and developing lasting friendships. We'll talk about it a bit more, but of course, our robust alumni network is a testament to the amount of fellowship that we have in our organization, as well as leadership opportunities. Not only does that include our club level, district level, international level opportunities to serve in different leadership roles, such as myself and all of our other members serving on boards, but also just opportunities to serve on different projects, committees, and get other leadership development experience. All right, so tapping into our learning objective of locations of clubs in the Carolinas district and where we're currently targeting new charters and reactivations. So, as mentioned, we have 11 active charters, which you can see here on your screen. Big shout out to Methodist University, our newest addition to our active charters list, as well as Lees McRae and Appalachian State, which are pending currently in our pipeline, getting paperwork in and finalizing those. So right now we're hoping to hit that 13 mark really soon for our clubs. And we've also got exploration going on at a number of different institutions, including Clemson, UNC Wilmington, and Wake Tech Community College. But of course, any college or university near you that you're interested in getting a CKI club started on that campus, please be in contact, and we would love to look into exploring a club at that school.
All right. So the big question usually is from Kiwanis is how do I charter or reactivate a club? I used to have a CK club at the college near me or the university near me, but I don't know what to do or like how do I do this? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So the first thing is why sponsor a CKI club, right? So why should my Kiwanis club take the leap of faith and charter a CKI club? And that is really a great first step to think about is like, what is your why? Why should you do this? So first of all, we want to help students develop their professional skills. So with Key Club, if you have a Key Club or a Builders Club or a K Kids, we're really kind of starting those students off and getting them trained as to, how to do service and how to be a leader. When they get to college, they are really honing in on their leadership skills, and the Circle K clubs really kind of run themselves. And so it gives us an opportunity as professionals or retired professionals in Kiwanis to really develop some of those professional skills with our CKI members. You're helping students make an impact and then helping, again, develop those leadership skills. So CKI really does serve as a student-led organization. They're setting the meeting times, they're finding their meeting space. They're very self-sufficient in the sense of all of that. But as we all know, no matter if we're 100 years old or 20 years old, we still have opportunities to learn about leadership. And so partnering with them and kind of walking through some of the leadership skills that you've learned along the way is a great opportunity. And then, of course, helping students develop those lifelong friendships. And we've got lots of great examples of how students have bonded through CKI and really made it those connections with their Kiwanis clubs. And so these are all great opportunities that parallel exactly what we do in Kiwanis. So In CKI, just like we have in Kiwanis, we have multiple different types of clubs that can be chartered. And that really just depends on how the school is set up. And so, for the most part, and in fact, all of our clubs in the Carolinas are traditional CKI clubs. So, they are at one campus, they meet in person, they have the standard officers, president, secretary, treasurer. Vice president. They meet either weekly or bi-weekly, and they have regular service opportunities. And so pretty much like a standard Kiwanis club, they'll meet after school, like in the evenings. And so that gives you an opportunity if your Kiwanis club meets at lunch to come and visit the CKI club. Then we have some other opportunities for clubs on different structures. So we have either satellite or multi-school clubs. So a satellite club or a multi-school club could be that, and I'll use one of our clubs as an example that we're working with, USC Buford. They have a main campus in Buford, but they also have a campus in Bluffton. So if those two schools, while they're the same kind of school, if they wanted to partner together and have a Circle K club at the Buford campus and then at the Bluffton campus, they could be a multi-school. Or if, let's say, you have like a community college nearby and a larger university, they could partner together and do a multi-school club. Now, there are some regulations and kind of different things that we have to go through in order to establish a satellite club or a multi-school club. But those are oftentimes opportunities to get a school up and going, kind of like we do for a satellite Kiwanis club, and you have like the main part, and then you have a smaller group in that way. So those are options. And then we have the newest form, which is e-clubs. And so this one, actually, we have an e-club, not in the Carolinas, but up in the New England district. They have an e-club. And we have members from Harvard in that club and some other areas in the kind of New England-y area. And so maybe it is because the campus doesn't allow for clubs to get established, or if there's there might just be some rules or regulations around establishing a club. And so you can have an e-club, and so they typically will meet on Zoom. Sometimes they'll meet in person if they're close by. But it's another opportunity to have a club. And so we actually have an e-club in the Carolinas district for Kiwanis. And we've had key clubs as well, where schools weren't allowed to charter a key club, and so they chartered an e-club. So these are becoming, more frequent. There's not a lot of them, but those are opportunities that, if you just have a difficulty getting a club established on a campus, those are opportunities that are out there in order to charter a CKI club. And so how do you reactivate or charter a club? First, obviously, you're going to identify the school campus. It's really important to establish some type of student or faculty contact. It's becoming more difficult nowadays to go onto a campus without any kind of contact. Campuses are a little more strict about who can come and that kind of thing. So if you've got a student contact, maybe it's a past Key Club scholarship recipient, or it's a grandchild of somebody that lives down the street and they are wanting to start a club, or they're interested in the Kiwanis family, or maybe you have a contact, there's a faculty member or a staff member at a college or university that is in your Kiwanis club and they're interested in that. Those are all great ways to kind of establish that initial contact. And then within your Kiwanis club, you'll need to have a Kiwanis advisor. They do need a Kiwanis background check. And then we'll go through the school approval process. So typically that starts with identifying some students, Schools typically have like a minimum number of students that have to be established before they can form like a club. But we'll go through that and kind of help them go through the paperwork. They'll host a recruitment table. And then we have things like bylaws and rosters that they have to have. And then they start collecting dues. And then we will assist them with all of the charter work and paperwork. But the biggest part for the Kiwanis clubs that want to start a CKI club is really establishing those students and the faculty advisor or staff member and Kiwanis advisor. And once you kind of have that core group together, between Tyler and I, we can tag team and kind of help with the paperwork part because that part is not quite as cumbersome with us helping you to do that. And so what do you need? So you've got these students and you're ready to charter. What all are the things that you need? So if your institution is a 4-year institution and it has 5,000 students enrolled or more, you're going to need a minimum of 15 members. If you're at a 2-year institution, and those are 10 members, and then a 4-year institution with less than 5,000 students, that's only 10 members. Now, our rule of thumb in the Carolinas is that we really prefer you to charter with as many students as possible, obviously hitting these minimums, but we feel like a 20 to 25 member charter is going to be a little bit stronger because as we know, even with chartering Kiwanis clubs or Key clubs or any of the other clubs, you get those initial members in and then people graduate or move away or what have you. And so you need kind of all as many people as possible. And then you'll need to hold some kind of election. So you'll need some officers. So a minimum of the president, the vice president, a secretary and treasurer. But these are some other options that you can have. You could do 2 vice presidents if you just have a lot of students that are interested in leadership. So one for service and one for membership. You could add PR chairs. We have the freshman ambassador program that you can do as well. So lots of those, but the required ones are president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And then, of course, making sure that your Kiwanis club has discussed this as a board. You have a Kiwanis member that has a cleared background check. You have a university approval for the club. So there may be some additional things that the students have to do to get university approval. And that you have set some budget aside to support your CKI club, whether that's in, helping them get to one of our events or just helping them with some service projects. Those are all really important to make sure that you have that set aside. And don't forget that as a Kiwanis club, when you charter a new SLP, a new service leadership program, our Kiwanis Foundation, our Carolinas District Foundation will help with half of that charter fee. So you'll get reimbursed for that. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're working through it. All right. I'll
Yeah.
turn it.
And when you are looking to reestablish these clubs, of course, you'll be talking to students and want to share the tons and tons of benefits that go along with joining Circle K International. As I mentioned, there is tons of leadership development. Of course, that comes from the hands-on experience of year-long terms as club leaders or district leaders and international leaders. But of course, we have committee structures just like in Kiwanis, and so we have folks that not only step up just as committee members, but even chairs of those committees, as well as just general opportunities to engage in leadership development with regards to specific projects. And even some of our clubs host different professional developments as well as one-time opportunities for students to learn and grow there. We also have tons of scholarships and networking opportunities, and those kind of go hand in hand. Tons of opportunities for students to get access to funds for their college journey, as well as mentorship on for their college journey as well. And we have our mentorship program, which I believe is on a different slide, so I'm already different points. I'm already jumping around, but a lot of these things are interconnected. Travel is another big one. We have our fall call conference every fall, and our district convention towards the springtime, and some great opportunities for folks to travel. And then, of course, Icon, our international convention, folks travel around as well, which will be in Dallas, Texas this year. So, tons of opportunities to travel there as well. The professional development ties into our leadership development, our mentorship program that we have here, where we have tons of Kiwanians serving as mentors to different CKI members. Our CKI alumni network, as well as I mentioned, we have a robust alumni community, and so you get to tap into that as being a member of Circle K International. Long-lasting friendships. I can go on and on about all the different friends I've made in the organization, not only from my club, but at the district international level, as well as just being part of the community. Not only are you making these individual one-on-one connections, but you're a part of a larger community. You have people that you know what all is going on and all the different buzz. I'm headed to an international social after recording this call, so there's tons of examples of ways that students are connected to a larger community, as well as engaging with the community of their campus. Being part of a larger organization helps them really stand out. And speaking of our leadership and kind of professional development opportunities, we actually have the Global Leadership Certificate, that CKI members can earn by completing a series of 40 different courses, which include topics like building meaningful relationships, conflict management, building a community connection, and being an agent of change. Really tapping into a bunch of different 21st century's professional skills that you'll need for the kind of life after CKI, life after college. And so it's a really another unique opportunity that students are able to have when they join our organization. There we go. And so, looking into the specifics about our dues, we have our international district and then club amounts breakdown. So, for international level, it is a 36 per member, and at the district level, that is 16 per member, for a total of 52. And then, in addition, anything that clubs want to charge is on a club by club basis, which typically can be anywhere from no club dues to $10, $20. It really depends on the club's needs and their decisions, of course, that they make at that level.
All right. So once your club is established, then how do you participate with your CKI club? So there's lots of different ways that Kiwanis clubs can participate, and nurture those relationships. So um, I would first by starting inviting your CKI members to your club meetings. Now, just keep in mind that if your club is meeting at lunch, your CKI members may be in class. So please don't be offended if they aren't able to come to your lunch meetings. I know even when I was in college, it was sometimes difficult to get to Kiwanis meetings, because it was during my class time. So that's just something to remember. But we would love for you to still extend that invitation, and have them come to your club meeting. Maybe invite them to be a guest speaker and kind of work with them on their schedule. Or if you're having an evening meeting, have them come out. Always, always, always invite your CKM members to your service projects, help with fundraisers, events, anything like that, that you could use some additional hands. And then, make sure to reach out and ask them what service projects they're doing or events that they're doing, so that you can go out as well, and attend their meetings and their service projects. And that is just a great way to bond. You could plan a joint service project together. If you are a Kiwanian and you're a lieutenant governor, one of the best ways, I found as a past lieutenant governor, is to get involved with my lieutenant governor from CKI and even Key Club, and us do a joint big division council meeting together. So that was always a lot of fun. But you could plan a joint service project, a joint fundraiser, and then make sure if your Kiwanis Club does like a regular newsletter or sends an email out. Include the CKI officers in it. Just keep them in the loop so that if they do see a date that they can do, that just kind of takes one less thing off of the advisor's plate, just to remember to, oh yes, we need to invite you to come to this or that kind of thing. But keep that open line of communication on a regular basis. So again, division level, make sure you're inviting your CKI members to attend your division council meetings. And again, you could have them be a guest speaker. You could plan a joint division council meeting together or service project. Of course, invite them to all of those things. If you have a division newsletter, make sure those go to your CKI officers. And then, of course, you can invite all of your service leadership programs in the area so they can volunteer to help support. If you're doing K-Kids, tutoring or reading to them, invite your CKI club to come in and read to the K-Kids or work with your Builders Club or Key Club.
And of course, there are tons of leadership events as well that we have in our district. So, our leadership conference in April, as well as our newly founded online edition in August to kind of catch, especially when we have these clubs coming in over the summer who've missed our April conference. A great time for all of our club officers to get trained in all things CKI and so that they are connected to the resources they have because our clubs get a ton of resources to help support them, their membership growth and retention as well. As mentioned, our international convention, typically around June, July, somewhere in that transition area. And then our fall call conference in November, tons of leadership workshops, but also service projects and fellowship opportunities to really, it's a really great time to welcome a lot of our newer members. And then our district convention, where we come together as a district once a year to celebrate all the amazing things that our clubs accomplish, from tons of membership growth to signature projects. I think of our Miss HPU pageant comes to mind that we love to celebrate every year, NC State's Haunted House, and then tons of other projects all across the district that we always love to promote and share with each other. And of course, Kiwanians are always welcome at CKI events, and we love to have not only that connection, but also so that you're more aware of other things going on and can get more involved in anything that suits your fancy.
All right, so some important dates for you all to know what's happening. October 1st, while that is the start of the Kiwanis year and your Kiwanis dues are payable, so are CKI dues. And so you can start paying those dues. At that point, we've got Trick or Treat for UNICEF, which also Key Club participates in, Youth Protection Week, which was actually 2 weeks ago, and then CKI Week, which was last week. And we ended CKI Week with a huge bang. We had a huge service Saturday at Camp Kiwanis in Lexington, North Carolina. And then that evening, we went to the Miss HPU pageant where they raised over $31,000, hitting a $100,000 mark for the last 4 years. So we're super proud of them. And that money all goes to our international service initiative, Brick by Brick. So we have the High Point University, just as a little side note, they have now built 2 full classrooms in Cote d'Ivoire, Africa. So we are super excited for them. And then early bird dues are October 31st. And this is an important deadline for our Carolinas members because the members that have paid dues and their clubs have submitted dues to Kiwanis International, they qualify for member incentives that are just special for the Carolinas district. This year, we're offering all students that have paid their dues and submitted those a choice between our CKI shirt that's exclusive to the Carolinas, or a really nice glass water bottle. I did not bring a copy up here this evening, but we have a really nice Circle K glass water bottle that they can choose from. And then also with that, they get a CKI car magnet, a CKI pen, writing pen, and then a reusable travel straw. So they will be decked out in CKI gear for all of those. So if you're CKI Club has not paid their dues yet. They have until next week to get those in, and it's super easy to pay for them and get those in. And then we go through, well, our Tomorrow Fund applications will open up soon. If they haven't opened yet, and I can't remember, maybe Tyler can um, correct me if that's not right, but I know it closes usually December 1st. But Tomorrow Fund is where Circle K clubs that are in good standing can apply for grants for service projects, and that ranges from $250 up to $2,000. So that's a great opportunity. And then our scholarships open; they'll open soon, but by November 1st, and they run through February 1st. We've got Fall Call Conference coming up that Tyler mentioned earlier, and that's on November 7th through the 9th, and that's going to be in Lillington. And then February 20th through the 22nd in Charlotte will be our convention. So those are all things that are really important for advisors to know. And the way you find this out is through our monthly newsletters that I send out. You've got electronic newsletters that come from Circle K International. We have our events and trainings that which Tyler mentioned, and then we have advisor calls that are hosted by Circle K International as well. And so what do sponsoring clubs need to do? Or why is it important? So the best thing is that sponsoring a CKI club for your Kiwanis club helps to invest in the future. Again, like I mentioned, it provides an opportunity to have more hands for service when you're doing that. You can connect with youth. In fact, we started a mentorship program this last year. And so we have Kiwanians paired with CKI members, and we have that mentor-mentee relationship. And so they're kind of learning about a future profession, and then you get to kind of mentor a student, which is a great way to give back to the community. You're also building a pipeline into Kiwanis. So if you think about if you've developed a great relationship with your CKI club, those CKI members are going to remember that they're part of the Kiwanis family. And then once they graduate, they have an opportunity to join Kiwanis. So don't hesitate to encourage your CKI members that when they are ready and they are out in the workforce to remember Kiwanis and make it a positive experience for them so that they will want to join Kiwanis when they get out there. And then it's just fun. It's so much fun working with CKI members. It's one of the best things. I love it. That's why I'm the Circle K district administrator. It brings me joy. When I am down, I go and see my CKI club. I call Tyler. We talk. I text the group. And so it's one of the amazing things that Kiwanis offers, and it keeps us young as Kiwanians. So, all right.
All right. Well, if anyone does have any questions after you've watched this call, don't be afraid to reach out. You can always reach out to governor at carolinacki.org or jennifer.hethcox at carolinacki.org. And we'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have or get you connected with any of the things that you've heard about on this call tonight.
That's right. Well, we are appreciative of everyone attending and watching this recording. If you weren't able to join us tonight, but you're watching this a little bit later, please make sure to follow us. We have both Facebook, Instagram, and now we're on LinkedIn. So check those out. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, please join and follow Tyler's podcast, The Diva Checkpoint, which Tyler, do you want to tell us what the DIVA checkpoint stands for? Because I know you have a great acronym for that.
Yes, the DIVA checkpoint stands for District Insights, Vision, and Action. And those are all things that we talk about with various leaders from across the international organization.
Yes, and it is phenomenal. So you can pop it on in your car. You do not have to have a Spotify account. You can listen to the free version. You can find it really easily. So make sure to follow us at Carolina CKI. And we are really appreciative of you being here tonight. Thank you, Tyler, for joining us for the Kiwanis webinar. And we look forward to seeing you all at future events. So thank you so much and good night.